Now, you'll never stay down going through the golf ball like you see all the best players do unless you avoid this huge mistake. And this mistake, so many of you are actively trying to do to stay down in posture, and we've got to stop doing it. And that is a strong grip. Okay, so I know a lot of you out there grip it with a strong grip. So before you say that's wrong, of course you want a strong grip. Look at all the best players in the world. So many of them have a strong grip. Let me explain it here. So when you've got a very strong grip, so where you're seeing almost all 4 knuckles on the left hand and the right hand, that line between thumb and the meat of the hand pointing towards right shoulder or behind. What is a stronger grip going to do? It is going to close the club face down. Okay, so if we're swinging with a closed club face, so let's say I get up to the top of my swing, my club face is pointing to the sky. That is closed. A square club face is the club face matching your forearm. Okay, so if I am going to move in my downswing, try to stay down in the golf ball and have a mere mortal, which is all of us, not the top tour players, more average mortal level of rotation in the downswing and club head speed, look what's going to happen to the golf ball. So this is me staying down with a very strong grip that's going to close the club face off with a normal amount of body rotation and club head speed. I'm going to hit it humongously left. So now what my body would have to do to be able to square that, again, for people who are not tour players, who don't have the club head speed that they possess, my body is going to find a more functional way to be able to square up this club face. Am I going to do that more times than not? Absolutely no, I'm not. So that is where this, having that very strong grip, is not a great way to go if you want to continue to try to stay down on the golf ball. And this is something with one of my new online lesson monthly subscribers here, unlimited lesson subscribers on Skillist, came to me with this same problem. Having a very strong grip but could not work out why they couldn't fix their early extension. They couldn't find their root cause. But they were gripping it, just like we said in the intro there, strong to keep themselves in posture, because they may have seen some videos online or looked at tour players going, okay, if I create loads of shaft lean, then yes, a very closed club face would absolutely square up. But we've got to remember, when we close and get loads of shaft lean, we're de-lofting the club. So if we have too much shaft lean, we're going to hit it really, really low if we don't have an adequate enough ball speed to get some lift on the shot. More ball speed will create a better launch. So that's where, again, if I try to create loads of shaft lean, and what does, again, to create shaft lean, you need lots of body rotation. If you're turning your body really nicely, you're going to be staying down. But we most likely will not be able to hit the ball very far at all. I mean, that was me trying to create maximal shaft lean there. Look how low that ball went, 140 yards, and then still I missed it left. But what my student was doing was standing up straight away, and again, couldn't figure out why. He actually also had a little bit, which most golfers who have a very close club face will stand up and they will move away from the target. They'll suffer with some bad strikes as well, because that as well, moving away from the target, the upper body makes the club face point more to the right, and that again is going to fry your lower back. That's not going to be fun. You're going to get back pain, but also it's not going to help you with your ability to stay down and turn. So the solution here, we need a square club face. So this is what I work with all my students who have this exact same root cause reason to standing up, and it works every single time. So we make sure that club face is in a nice spot. Your, let's say, club face angle there is matching your spine. We don't want it to be too shut. Now, if you had a really strong grip, you'd have to whip the club face in to be able to do that for forearm rotation to open up the face. Again, we want to instead make life easier for ourselves when we're playing golf. This is our hobby. We want to enjoy it. So let's have a 2.5 knuckle grip. So when we look down our left hand, 2.5 knuckles is what we want to see. And with our trail hand there, the line between thumb and the meat of the hand points towards your right pec. Could even be the armpit area. That is much more functional of a place to be, because then if you take that club back, that club face is going to be matching spine angle brilliantly. So now we can do a drill to keep ourselves down, and we'll be actually, some golfers may consciously be able to keep themselves down from there. And you'll be able to turn, because you don't need to do anything to be able to, of course, square up a very close face. You could just keep the body turning, that club's going to release nice and naturally, and you're going to be in a much better spot to be able to stay down and turn through the golf ball. It becomes so much easier. Again, we don't have the speed some of the tour players do. Now, if you can swing driver over 125 miles an hour, let's say 120 plus, you could ignore this entire video. You could stay down with it with a very strong grip, but that's not most of us out there. So again, Making sure, nice 2.5 knuckle grip. That is absolutely key. Keeps us club face nice and square and it allows us to stay down. That is fixing the root cause. The grip is almost always it for players. Get that grip nice and neutral. Let's get into a good drill to pair this with. Now, the drill I like to do with my students also after we fix that club face, or let's say whatever their root cause may be, but in this case, the club face, is doing a drill that encourages the body to stay down. So what I like to do is with this stick here, we get the stick and we have it coming mostly out in front of us, about halfway, so half fits back behind me. If there's too much here, it's just going to dangle down. We don't want that. So, okay. When we get up to our backswing, top of our backswing, our left arm's going to be touching the stick. And in our downswing, we want the stick to remain pointing at the ground as we turn through. As we get through impact, our left arm is going to detach away as we are moving and our hand path lowers going into the shot to get to the ball. But we don't want to be doing this, raising the upper body up and the stick pointing in front of us. We don't want that. We want it pointing down. So we've got our better grip. That works in the root cause. Get a grip trainer. If you're a very, very strong grip player, what a lot of players do, they'll be strong, they'll be nice and neutral, and then just before they take the club back, they re-grip it again, subconsciously. They don't know they're doing it. But get a grip trainer, it stops you doing that. So, just like Scotty Scheffler. So, okay, get that grip trainer on a club. Now, let's have this stick pointing down towards the ground. It'll be interesting to see if it stays underneath, because I'm very hot and sweaty at the moment. It's actually quite hot here in Scotland at the moment. There we go, stay down nicely. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely one, that's just nice and controlled down there. So I worked on my root cause, which is making sure my grip's better, not too strong. Club face will then be nice and squarer, and a nice drill to keep me down through the shot, keeping this underneath my arm, keeping my left arm touching this until around impact where it'll naturally come away. And then I've got feedback to whether or not I have stayed up or went up or stayed down. Again, brilliant. We want to work on root cause and effect. And that's exactly what we're doing here. Brilliant. I mean, those two have both split the line. Nice little shots. Absolutely awesome. Now, there's one extra thing you can do to encapsulate the root cause and effect with a brilliant drill. But one thing that I do all the time with my students, if they can, is hit balls into a net. Or let's say they've got their own simulator, turn the net off. But let's say with a net, like I do in my backyard, whether you've seen from my old videos, or if you take online lessons already with me. So, but luckily guys, I've recently just partnered with the #1 net company on the planet, Net Return. So with Net Return, if you use my code, which is down in description, then absolutely you'll be able to get 10% off. So it's JChowngolf in capital letters, 10% off any net or any package. They are the best nets out there. So finally, with me for so many years of filming videos in a net, and funnily enough, when I'm here, now not doing videos into a net, absolutely, we get a good discount for you. But absolutely, guys, nets are so important. Because why nets are so important to work on your golf swing? Because you do not want to see what the ball flight does straight away, because it takes away from you working on your technical areas. Jason Day, when he made his big swing change of getting more hip turn, he hit balls into a net for years. Rory McIlroy, at the beginning of the year, so just before he won the Masters, this was in January, he put himself into his simulator room with the simulator turned off, and he said for 2 weeks he hit balls working on his trail arm mechanics with no ball flight, just into a blank screen. You need to do it if you're working on your technique, especially for early extenders. So all my students for early extenders hit balls into a blank screen or a net. But like if you don't have a net, use a link down in the description, you'll get 10% off any Net Return net. Okay, so that last drill there, what you want to do here, this is called a pump drill. So you don't necessarily need the stick to do this one. Now, we've got a better grip. Hopefully you got a grip trainer. What we do, we get to shaft parallel to the ground in an ideal position. So that will mean, okay, my hips are rotated. My weight is 90% on my left leg. My hips are back, my chest is down. And you can see there how my club head is right on the hands or slightly behind it. And what we do, we repeat this position a couple times, 1, 2, and then do a little swing up and through, because it gives you the sensation of staying down through the golf ball. So, okay, those checkpoints, boom, there we go. Then 1, 2, and just a little swing through. Again, don't care how you hit it. Again, normally for little shots, TrackMan just doesn't like to pick them up for the little ones. But absolutely, that's just like we talked about with the net. We don't necessarily need to see it. We just need to, okay, we could be filming our swing at the same time, getting our feedback, I'm thinking, okay, are we staying down for it? And what we can do here, because we are looking at that club position there, we don't want the club face position to be anything more than matching our spine angle there. Slightly toed down is what we want. So that's where we can check our club face position as well. And you'll notice how much easier it is to stay down once you do that. So one more. There we go, lovely. So please, please, if you're not a fast club head speed swinger, do not grip your club with a very strong grip. If you are a slicer of the golf ball and you went from a normal grip to a strong grip, I'm afraid to say that is a band-aid fix. You need to find the reason of why you are slicing it with a normal grip, because you should not be slicing it with a standard grip. There is something with your club path, something with the club face angle from something else you might be doing. So that's where, absolutely, unless you have played your entire life with a strong grip, we can live with that. If you're a fast club head speed swinger, we can live with that. But if you're absolutely a mere mortal, like myself, it's so much easier doing it with a standard grip. Have that club face square. So many players overlook club face position, so many coaches do. Do not be convinced otherwise. You need that club face square if you want to make golf easier for yourself. You're not going to develop an extra 20 miles an hour of club head speed, maybe more with a strong grip. It's not going to happen. So make life easier. Have a nice normal grip. Work on staying down through it. Work on your root cause, work on your effect, you will start to stay down through the golf ball. So again, if you're struggling with that early extension, standing up, there is a course right down there. The complete guide to early extension could be the masterclass of early extension. It's the most extensive guide on early extension anywhere on the internet. Right down there. And if you need one-to-one help with me out there on Skillist, just like we've been saying with my online subscribers through Skillist, you can absolutely do that. Again, there is a link in the description. I'll be happy to work with you anywhere in the world. So if you enjoyed this video, click that like button if you want more golf instruction, just like this. Click that like button and obviously subscribe, hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video.